Okay, hello, hi people. My name is Sulufelo. I'm your host.
My name is Rita Mete. I'm also your host.
And welcome to African Roots Science. So, no, the podcast is about African people, African history. Yeah, we're gonna teach you and also learn at the same time. Yeah? So, it doesn't mean that we know Wawana. So, it's sort of like a schooling journey, you understand? Yeah, so this is African root science. We're gonna talk about African history, African people, African culture, hidden history, hidden knowledge, secrets, and everything that you need to know, and then that all of us that I'm sure you need to know. You understand? As it is said, it is said. One, you need to know where you come from in order to know where you're going, in order to know and understand what's going on at this present moment. You understand? So yeah, this is African Root Science people. Ridumeti, you want to say something?
Yes, I do. We will also be teaching you some African delicacies, some African recipes, and some African remedies to help you cleanse your body and your spirit as well. So enjoy. Please enjoy the channel, subscribe, and etc. Yeah, have a good day. And that means let's learn in Sisutu, which is a South African language.
So now, the African Root Science, né, this podcast is based on this book that we call that's called Black Root Science. Né? This is the foundation of the podcast. You understand? This book it was given to us by one of our relatives, né? Which whom we found out in Bonomo not long ago, and then we related to. Né? He's a family member, we related by blood, and he's the son of uncle and auntie and Wawona. It's a long story, Wawon. So he's the one who gave us this book, Wawon. We read the book and we got to find out that some of the information that's in this book, yeah, some of the things that we were taught here in the household by our parents. Yeah, you understand? So that's why we saw that it's important that we also spread this information. Plus, at the same time, we start this podcast and share what we know, what we've been taught, what you understand. Also, so we can all learn and know who we are, where we come from, and why we are here, why the situation is the way it is at this present moment. You understand? Yeah. So now, without further wasting time, let's begin. The podcast is about to be each and every the episode, each and every episode. It's going to we're gonna read a chapter for you from the book Black Root Science. That's why, like I said before, the podcast is based on this book called Black Root Science. That's why the name of the podcast is African Root Science. You understand? Yeah. So now, without further wasting time, let's begin. This is the summary of the book, but it's actually sort of like the chapter one, but it's written the summary. Yeah. Okay. So it goes like this. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Né? Our Earth and solar system were created 78 trillion years ago. Né? As soon as the Earth was ready, 144,000 ancestors came from another star system, the star called Sirius, that was worshipped by the ancient Egyptians. They inhabited the Earth after preparing it by seeding it with plant and animal life. After about 7,000 years since their arrival, their population increased from 144,000 to 1,000,000,008 million. Né? 1,000,008 million. This number, 1,000,008 million, is the most sacred number in creation. It is the total number of original people who inhabited the first earth of our universe, countless trillions of years ago. Thus, every earth inhabited thereafter keeps this number as their final and stable population. Okay. It was determined to be the ideal number of people that can inhabit a planet the size of Earth in complete comfort without imposing on each other or on the natural resources, as well as on the animals and plants. That enables complete freedom of movement for all life on the planet And this is essential for peace, prosperity, and spiritual growth, the gaining of knowledge. The reason why the number is specifically 1,000,000,008,000,000 is described in the mathematics section of Blackwood Science. The first earth mentioned above was created by the 1,000,008,000,000 original gods from the stars of the previous universe. They had existed in that previous universe toward its end, along with trillions upon countless trillions of other people, in a state of mind called divine unity, or the oneness of God. Ne? Okay. It is a state of mind where all the people in the universe unite as one. This one is God in truth, not the spirit God of modern religions. Okay. Deep.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. It's getting deeper now. No, I feel like some people gonna be mad when they hear this. Hey, when the trillions upon trillions of people at the end of the previous universe were united as one, they experienced an indescribable expansion of their minds, which were as one mind. It expanded to such an extent that it is not only circumscribed. It expanded to such an extent that it not only circumscribed their entire universe, but exceeded its boundaries by an immeasurable extent. The one mind, or God, became so large that the previous universe could no longer contain him or her. He or she felt a need for a larger universe in which the experience of life would continue. The trillions upon trillions of people, still united as one, then decided to abandon that universe. They consciously left their perfected bodies and rose in mind far above the universe. They then looked down on it and saw it as a small sphere. The way our Earth looks when seen from high above in space. Now the mind is always attached to the body. There is no such thing as a mind without a body. A so-called spiritualist would like us to believe, oh, okay, now the mind is always attached to the body. Yeah, there is no such thing as a mind without a body, as a so-called spiritualist would like us to believe. Okay. The mind can extend beyond the outer reaches of space, even expand infinitely. But a magnetic attraction always attaches it to the physical body. The magnetic attraction dissipates at death, and the mind and individual personality or soul then ascends. I will discuss ascension at a later time. People, let's just need to put on the charger, man. So sorry about that. We're gonna pause it for a minute. Okay, people, let's continue, man. I had to connect the charger. Alright. The unified mind of the people who were as one person was so immense that the stars appeared to be the size of atoms. As this person was contemplating the universe sphere, he or she saw that it was adequate for habitation as a new earth, with all the stars being its atoms. He or she made 1,000,008,000,000 new bodies corresponding to the size of the new earth, using some of its substance, the stars' atoms. Then he or she disconnected the magnetic connection to the old bodies and left them in the old universe. The 1,000,008,000,000. The 1,000,008,000,000 gods then descended upon the new earth into the new bodies and became the first inhabitants. The matter of every star and planet in the universe is created in 7 forms. In modern words, these are magnetism, electricity, light, ether, gases, liquids, and solids. The fourth substance, ether, is the central supporting substance of the other 6. This is the womb of creation called space. It is black in color, as one can see by looking out into space at night. This is absolute blackness called space not only supports the other substances, but it also gives individual color to all objects because the color black contains all other colors in itself. Hence, when the 8 billion original gods made themselves new bodies, they covered them in skin whose color is black, getting it directly from the ether. Because the gods create all plants and animals from their own bodies, they need to have all colors stored in a single color in their creative germ, which is called the dark dominant germ or gene, the source of what modern people call melanin. Upon arriving on the first earth, the one mind of God incarnated instantly in 1,000,000,000 bodies, as already said. Half of them were female and the other half were male. Each pair of male-female gods are called soulmates. They always create in soulmate pairs, even when in large groups. Because all creation has a male-female or negative-positive principle. Negative is not used in a derogatory sense, but as the complement of positive. You see, LGBTQ. Hi. The 8 billion original people then proceeded to instantly create perfect plants and animals, called the original totems, from which all evolutionary life forms evolved. They also proceeded to create new stars and planets around the first earth by condensing part of their expanded mind. After living on that first earth for more than 1 trillion years, they finalized the plans for the completion of a new, much larger universe. They then gave birth to their descendants and then passed out of life, ascended, in other words. Before passing, they established the Society of the Black Nation. They established it by withdrawing from or leaving their divine unity, in which they had existed for over 1 trillion years. They did this in order to be able to bring new life into the world, new persons who had never existed before, such as you and me. At the same time, in order to ensure the continuity of eternity, these same 8 billion original gods continue to incarnate in the new people. They reside in the unconscious part of the person's mind and are called the mind of God, or the divine gift of ancestral memory, or what modern people call the spirit of God. Thus, every black person, even though he or she is born brand new, is simultaneously one of the 8 billion original gods. Only the personality is new, the spirit is old, even eternal. The 8 billion original people all withdrew from the divine unity, except 24 people, 12 men and 12 women. Okay, the 8 billion original people all withdrew from the divine unity, except 24 people, 12 men and 12 women. They became the kings and queens called the 24 elders, who are really 12 gods or 12 soulmate couples, male and female. Not men and men. The 24 elders are called the custodians of divine unity. The 12 gods chose 12 assistants each and called them their 144 chiefs. The gods divided the population into 12 tribes of 84 million people. They further divided each tribe into 6 clans and set 2 chiefs, a man and a woman, as the heads of each clan. The chiefs chose 1,000 people each and called them the 144,000 judges. They sent them in soulmate pairs all over the earth to set the foundations for 72,000 cities. Each couple took about 14,000 people with them to establish their city. This was the basic organization of the Black Nation established by the original gods on the first earth. When other earths were completed and settlers sent to them, this organization was repeated and remains as the divine form of kingdom and queendom on every inhabited earth throughout the universe. The original gods also established 7 great rituals of initiation to be used by the leaders to elevate all new people to divine unity. God's purpose. Okay? God's purpose for creating universe after universe is to increase himself or herself. Which means God is both male and female in one body. Every person who completes the 7 great rituals becomes full God, exactly like the original people. At that moment of completion, God rediscovered himself or herself anew, as he or she had never existed before. That is how God renews himself or herself, thus overcoming the stagnancy that would be the case in an eternally all-knowing being who never changes. In addition to the 7 great rituals, the original people also established many other rituals and customs covering every area of science and life. They then initiated the leaders of their descendants into this knowledge before descending, in other words. Ascending. Sorry about that. The initiation rituals have been faithfully transmitted from generation to generation since the beginning. On our earth, this form of divine rule existed uninterrupted for 78 trillion years, until 6,000 years ago, when a certain God decided it was time for all the other gods, you and me. All the other gods, you and me. Okay. To experience that part of us contained in what is called the non-creative recessive light germ. Now we're going deeper, people.
Very, very deep.
He caused the birth of a new race of people, the non-blacks, who would be the vehicles to manifest all that is in that gene. All things, without exception, are contained in God. God will experience all that is contained in him or her. He or she knows all, but has not experienced all. He or she uses the creation for this purpose of experiencing all that is known, including what is called evil. Hence, 6,000 years ago, a god by the name of Yahweh, called Yaqub, in the Bible is Jacob, called Yaqub in other ancient scripts, was born here on our earth. He, together with about 60,000 volunteers who are called the Elohim, made the non-blacks in our image. They made them by suppressing the dominant black gene and slowly unfolding the recessive light gene over a period of 7 generations of offspring, or 200 years. This caused the appearance of the first light race born to black people. After another 200 years of deliberate and careful breeding, they caused the second light race to appear out of the first. Then 200 years later, the third race appeared, and finally, 66 years after the appearance of the third race, the yellow race, the fourth race, Caucasians, appeared. These 60,000 people, Yahweh and the Elohim, thus initiated the modern age and the process that would eventually bring our divine kingdom to a temporary end. That, in brief, is the sacred history leading from the first earth to our earth, and to the present situation or cycle called evil, which was preordained to last for 6,000 years. People. So that's the summary. That's the first chapter of Black Root Science, the book Black Root Science, which is the foundation of the podcast African Roots Science. You understand? So now there are people who ask questions, and we can see there are several questions which were recorded here on the book. And we're going to read the questions for you and the answers given as follows. So the questions, this is called the Introduction to Level 1. We entering the Introduction to Level 1. What we read now was the summary, which was actually the first chapter. Now we're going to the Introduction to Level 1. So the first question is as follows. Very interesting read. Where did you get all this information from? Who told you about it? And who told you the person who told you, and etc.? As in, where did this all originate from? And the answer was as follows. I was taught the ancient history of our people by the elders of my tribe. They have kept it in a safe custody for many thousands of years and pass it from generation to generation through oral teachings and initiation. Okay.
Well, the second question reads, I may have missed it, but could you give us some
Some
indication of what part of Africa your information comes from? Some of it is very familiar. Other parts are completely foreign and don't seem to correlate with any indigenous spiritual system in Africa, of which I am aware of. You also speak of initiation. To what, by whom, and of what lineage? And the answer reads as, I am from the tribe called Botswana. My people live in different regions in southern Africa, in the countries of Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Angola, and Namibia, but mostly in South Africa and Botswana. Our language is called Setswana or Setswana. The elders that I mentioned are the custodians of the secret knowledge in my tribe. This type of secret dissemination of knowledge exists in many other tribes throughout Africa. It originates, or rather became, a secret in ancient Egypt 6,000 years ago. Before then, it was taught openly to all Black people starting from childhood. Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So, the third question is as follows. You consider all Botswana to be one tribe. Are your initiations considered general rites which are conveyed among African community members as they reach certain ages, or are you receiving specialized training as a Dingaka and or Sangoma, which is Dingaka or Sangoma? It's actually, it means in English, it's a traditional healer. You understand? Just to shorten it, yeah, Dingaka or Dingaka, it's many, it means many, Dingaka, which means many doctors, traditional doctors. Ngaka is one, it means one, which is traditional doctor or a doctor. And Sangoma, it's actually in the language of Zulu, isiZulu, which is a traditional healer. You understand? Okay. So the first one, it's in the language called Sesotho. You understand? And like I said, the second one, it's isiZulu, which is Sangoma. All right. So the answer is as follows. Oh, the question still continues. If you were in one of these two capacities, please tell us how long you have been in training. It's rather exciting to think we have some African healers or priests from Southern Africa living in the Americas. Also, if you don't consider it intrusive, please place more environmental context on your information. Tell us what the names of the creator, intermediary gods, and the ancestors are within your tradition. What are some of the rituals that are safe for our general public to practice? Outside of oral history, what are you authorized to share with Africans born in the West? If you don't mind, I want to put a small note on the first page of this post and in the title bar indicating that your spiritual knowledge is from Botswana. Okay, and the answer is as follows. Our tribe of Botswana is divided into many smaller clans. I'm from the clan called Bagahla. I'll briefly outline our initiation system for those who are new to such information. There are 3 types of initiatory training among my people, as is the case among many African tribes. The first is general rites, as you put it, which youths undergo at about puberty. After that, a handful are selected to be trained as Dingaka. Ngaka singular, Dingaka plural. The term Sangoma belongs to the Zulu tribe and is not used among us, but it means the same thing as you probably know. A second group, much smaller, is then selected at a later stage to be trained as griots. I am a griot, a tribal historian, and not a Ngaka. There are 2 types of griots. The first is called Moseki, or a memorizing griot, for lack of a better word. Such initiates are trained usually from childhood in certain rites that vastly improve their powers of memory to exceed that of ordinary people. Then they are taught oral history and memorize it word for word, so they can transmit it to following generations exactly as they received it. The second type of gayo is called mutidi. This word is difficult to translate, but it effectively means one who lives with the ancestors. I am a mutidi. The central tenet of African initiation rites is that the lives of our ancestors, the gods, are still as vibrant today as they were in their time. With this tenet as the foundation, we are trained to access that vibrancy and transport our minds or spirit to their time. We are guided to travel in spirit until we reach what we call Mojago, the gate, and receive the blessings of the gatekeeper. You see this part where they say we are guided to travel in spirit until we reach what we call Mojago, the guide, the gate, and receive the blessings of the gatekeeper. There's a video on YouTube, where this white guy, he had a dream where he went to heaven. And I'm just going to shorten it. He had a dream where he went to heaven, and then when he got to heaven, he saw it was like sort of like it's written in the Bible. It's a gold-plated city. It's beautiful. He had a sense of peace and all of that. And then he got to a gate, and when he got to this gate, he could see on the other side of the gate. And when he saw on the other side of the gate, what he saw was black people, strictly black people. And as he said it, he said these black people, they looked at him like this person is not about to get in here. Like they looking at him like they were shocked, like, hey, see, what's this person doing here? Which means their facial expressions were already telling him that you're not about to get up in here. You understand? You're not meant to be here. You understand? Okay. We are guided to travel in spirit until we reach what we call Mojako, the gate, and receive the blessings of the gatekeeper. Then we are assigned a custodian through whose eyes and mind we see the past. We are thus, you see this part where they say, when he says, then we are assigned a custodian through whose eyes and mind we see the past. There's an elder, but now he has ascended to the ancestors. His name is Ndate. Can I man? Toman. I need to tell you the name. You should go and watch videos about that he made, where David Icke was interviewing him, and he spoke about aliens and other beings that live on this planet. Toman, I want the name of the elder man. The elder, I'm gonna continue meanwhile, while Ritumeti searches the name of the elder, The elder, he was sort of like a guide. In spirit, he was able to go back in time. You understand? And he was shown what went on back in time, in the beginning. And then he was able to go past this present time and into the future. And he was shown what was going to come and what is to come in future. You understand? So this part where our brother says that you are assigned a custodian through whose eyes and mind you are able to see the past. You understand? I think that's what Ndate we're gonna get the name now. It's important that you know him and you go and watch his videos also. Some of the videos, I think they were removed from YouTube. You understand? And he has books also out there. Some of the books, it's called Indaba My Children. That's some of the books I can remember of him. It's Indaba My Children, the book. Exactly.
Ketron
Credo Mutwa. Our ancestor, Credo Mutwa. Yeah, Credo Mutwa. Lena, he went through some of the same rituals that are spoken about in this book. Ne? So go search Credo Mutwa and watch his videos and read his books. I'm sure you can get his books on Amazon and other online stores, ne? Online bookstores. Okay, people. So we're gonna continue. We are guided to travel in spirit until we reach what we call Mojako, the gate, and receive the blessings of the gatekeeper. Then we are assigned a custodian through whose eyes and mind we see the past. We are thus enabled to research and investigate the lives of our ancestors, exactly as if Okay. Let's go. Okay, exactly as if, or not as if, exactly as they were taught by their own elders. Every generation of my tribe have their own elders. Before they pass on, ascend, they initiate new people to become the custodians of this tribal knowledge. This system of education by initiation has been going on in my tribe, as well as 11 other tribes, for 6,000 years. And years, okay. So that was the answer to the question that was asked before. So here's the other question.
The next question is as follows: where did they get their knowledge? And the answer is, our knowledge was established 6,000 years ago into a coherent system of initiation rites by Yaqub, whose real name is Yahweh. He divided the knowledge into three compartments. The first and highest in this age consists of 360 degrees of knowledge. It is the system in which I am initiated. The second consists of this 36 degrees of knowledge. It is upon this system that the mystery temples of ancient Egypt were founded. That knowledge is called the wisdom of the 36 meters. The third and the final system consists of 33 degrees of knowledge. Yahweh or Yaqub established it for teaching the light-skinned races in ancient times. The most intelligent of them were recruited from their countries into the Ethiopian Empire, including Egypt and the Middle East. They were taught the 33 degrees of knowledge and then sent back to their homelands where they established secret societies. The most predominant still exists today are called the so-called Freemasons. I think we know about that, huh? So what is that? Oh, the Rosicrucians. The Rosicrucians and the Theosophists, something like that, huh? Are the highest practitioners of the 33 degrees, and from them come the others such as the Templars. While Brotherhood of the Light, Illuminati,
White Brotherhood,
and the other light races, secret societies. My oh my.
Okay, people, interesting knowledge, ne? So you heard also they mentioned the Illuminati there. You understand? So you can already clarify the info or how the Illuminati was established. They know who are the people. They know where they got the information. They know who are the original people. That's why they're keeping the knowledge to themselves, which is why they're called secret societies. Wow. Which means there's something hidden there that's going on there. Something that they know, some magical powers that they possess there, which they are using to hypnotize us and mind control us, and you understand. Yeah, I know those who are in search of truth or in search of knowledge, they know what I'm talking about. Ne? But as for others, we're all learning. So here's the information. Ne? Okay. And the next question is as follows. Is there knowledge available in other forms outside of your posts? Not in the way, and the answer, not in the way I've presented it here. I've tried to present what I've been taught in such a way that it may appeal to the original possible audience of Black people. Some of this knowledge can be found in the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. The problem is that many black people are turned off by the Nation of Islam for many varied reasons, most of which have nothing to do with the teachings themselves. So in order to appeal to those black people who have been robbed of Elijah's elevating teachings, I've tried to present the truth in such a way that it does not particularly align with any of the offshoots and various groups formed since his death. And don't get me wrong, some of them know the truth. Okay. My presentation is much more general and comprehensive. It concludes our history prior to the creation of our earth, all the way back to the creation of our universe. Later on, I'll discuss events that are soon to occur on earth. Prophecy. As the present cycle comes to a close. Then I'll go on to discuss what lies beyond this cycle. My goal is to present a comprehensive version of the truth as is possible to be understood by those who have not yet experienced it firsthand through rites and initiations. Thus, the short answer to your question is no. There is no published information available for what I've presented here. This is the first time this knowledge has been released publicly, which brings me to your fourth question.
So the fourth question is, should I be sharing this knowledge? Very, very good question. And the answer is yes. We have reached the end of the present 6,000 year cycle, which the Caucasians were given, by the way. In fact, it ended in 1914. Since then, the light races have been given an extra 100 years to repent and save their souls. The 100-year period of mercy will soon be over. Now it is the time of the elders. It is the time, and the elders of all the tribes in Africa and elsewhere have given permission for the information to be released. We are entering a very dangerous time for the souls of our people. The light races have instituted racist religions whose sole purpose is to try and stall the spiritual awakening of the black man and the black woman. They have set up a religious system where the coming of the Messiah must occur according to their definitions. If where the coming of the Messiah must occur, If where the coming of the Messiah must occur, according to their definitions. Sorry about that. Any other type of Messiah that will come and does not fit their description, they will declare him to be a false Messiah and try to kill him. Let's keep an eye open for this.
Which is why there's all over Africa and all over the world. There's this image of a white Jesus.
A white Jesus. And I'm pretty sure we all have seen this. Some of you guys even have a picture of a white Jesus in your home. All right, let's continue. The knowledge I share here is crucial to prepare black people for the truth that is soon to manifest. Yahweh made this world and its present rulers. He is the God of this age. He will soon come in great might and glory to reclaim his own. Those black people who have been deceived by Christianity and white Islam are in danger of rejecting him once they see that he is black. That's why this truth is being told now and more will be revealed.
Okay, people. Hey. And the next question is, Black Root Science, is it a religion? Okay. Black Root Science is not a religion. Ne? It's a reminder to black people who have forgotten their glorious heritage. Prior to 6,000 years ago, religions did not exist. Black people then lived a natural life. I'm going to repeat that. Black Root Science is not a religion. It's a reminder to black people who have forgotten their glorious heritage. Prior to 6,000 years ago, religions did not exist. Black people then lived a natural life. Just had an epiphany, by reading this fella. What you call earthly principles or the laws of nature were designed by the 8 billion original people. They are the laws that govern existence in the universe. Black people as gods are not subject to the laws of nature. Eh? Eh, man. They are the creators of the laws of nature. Hey man, we are free, Mus. It means we are free. Yeah? You're not going to hell or now. I'm just kidding. I know the religious ones are furious. No. Okay. 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 Okay, people. Okay, we had a moment there. Okay. What you call earthly principles or the laws of nature were designed by the 8 billion original people. They are the laws that govern existence in the universe. Black people as gods are not subject to the laws of nature. They are the creators of the laws of nature. All other creatures and beings created by black people, including the light-skinned races, are subject to the laws. We made ourselves subject to these laws. We made ourselves subject to these laws only now in the 6,000 year cycle in order to experience what is called, or not what is called, in order to experience what is caused by self-forgetfulness. Yo. All of heaven and earth are the creation of black people. What is called heaven is a mental state. It's not a physical space somewhere. It only exists only in the mind. In scriptures such as the Bible and Quran, the word heaven is also used to mean the sky. When it says the gods appear in the heavens, it means they appear in the sky in their spaceships. Amen. Einstein's law of EMC2 applies only to the physical universe. It does not apply to spirit. It is true that energy cannot be destroyed. That's because energy is a condensation of the mind, and the mind has neither beginning nor end. Therefore, energy can be created again and again without end. And what the black man creates can never be destroyed. It's Phoenix, the pyramids. Yeah? I'm just saying. Okay, people. Yeah, I think we've come to the end of the first chapter of Black Root Science. Né? Okay, yeah. So, I think now, if you didn't understand, you can go back and watch this episode again. Né? And for those who got questions or more questions, or wanna, you can comment down below and give us your thoughts, what you think, you understand. Like we said before, this podcast is about black culture, black people, hidden knowledge, African culture, roots, the past, the future, the present. Ne? Okay. I said the future and pointed now because the future is now, if you get what I mean. You understand? Yeah, so you can comment down below and give us your thoughts, what you think. Yeah, and then I think we'll continue with the next chapter on the next episode. Ne? And the next chapter it's actually an intro, but it's a chapter. Because this book is not an ordinary book. It's not written like your typical type of book. Ne? Yeah, but for simplification, yeah, for those who are not used to these types of books, we're just gonna simplify it for you. So the next chapter is called Introduction to Physics and Astronomy. We're going deeper. You understand? Some myths are going to be debunked here. You understand, people? So yeah, that's the end of our episode, people. We hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, and I forgot. There's the next part of the episode where we're gonna talk about lifestyle, healthy lifestyle. And I think Ritumeti will tell you more about that.
So what we're going to be doing is that after each chapter, we're also going to give you something healthy to eat, some African food for you to get to know in each and every episode after a chapter. you will have a dish of a day, an African delicacy of a day, and an African remedy of a day. And I will be covering that for you. All right, so let's get started on that, shall we? So the African dish of the day that we have today, we have our African bean stew. So I don't know if you guys know this, but it's very delicious, very, very delicious. You need to try this. So let me just break it down real quick. Let's not waste any time. The African bean stew is a delicacy with creamy beans, some onions, some celery, simmered in rich seasoned coconut-based broth with just to add to the creaminess. It's very delicious. So the ingredients you're gonna need for this, right? You're gonna need some kidney beans. So two cups of kidney beans that have been prepared, right? You're gonna need 4 ripe potatoes, finely chopped. You're gonna need one medium of finely chopped onions in like 1 medium cup, right? You're gonna need 1 teaspoon of garlic and ginger paste, and then you're gonna need half a cup of carrots that are finely sliced, half a cup of celery, also finely diced. You're gonna need 5 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of seasoning powder, half a teaspoon black pepper, 1 teaspoon curry powder, half a teaspoon chili powder, 1 teaspoon coriander, 1 teaspoon paprika, and half a cup of parsley, right? And then on the side, a bit of 200 milliliters of coconut milk, and then 100 milliliters of water. I will list these properly, right, on the screen for you guys just to have a clear image of what we're talking about. Okay, so then directions, because I can't just give you the ingredients, right? You also need to know how to cook these. So then you start with your beans. You're gonna soak these overnight, right, in some water before cooking them so that you break down the protein inside them. It makes it easier for you to digest the beans, right, when you cook them. So when you cook the beans though, in a large pot, you're gonna add 10 cups of water, right? And then 2 cups of the beans, right? And then you're gonna cook them in there for 1 to 2 hours, right? Once you've cooked them, you drain the beans. And then we get to how to actually make the bean stew, right? Okay, so then you heat some oil in a large pot over medium heat. And then you add your onion and you stir until lightly brown, right? For about 3 minutes. And then you add your garlic ginger paste. And then you stir again until fragrant for about 1 minute. After that, you add your spices and your salt for about 30 seconds. Following that, you add your tomatoes and you cook on medium-low heat. And you stir until cooked well for about 8 minutes, right? Remember, I'm gonna add this as well on the screen. So then you add your carrots and then you add your celery and a bit of salt for 2 minutes. And then to that, you add your beans. And then you add your coconut oil and your coconut milk and then your water, right? And you cover the pot and you simmer on medium-low heat for about 15 to 20 minutes, right? And you make sure that it's just cooked. I promise the results will be wonderful. So you may not know how to serve this, right? I'm gonna be covering that as well. So you serve this with your African bap, right? And you have to know how to make bap, come on. Or some rice or some coconut rice, okay? So yeah, and you just enjoy that. I promise it is delicious. Lala, enjoy it. What I just said is eat, enjoy. It's very delicious. And also, this is good if you have if you're very bloated, because beans help release all of that inside of your stomach, right? It's very good for you. Okay, so that is the African delicacy of the day, your African dish of the day. Now I'm coming to the African remedy of the day. So what we have are cloves, right? It's a must-have. So some benefits for cloves, right? It soothes your toothaches. It stops bad breath, right? It treats nausea and vomiting as well. It cures sore throats, right? And also helps with respiratory problems. So breathing problems and all that, if you're a person that sings or perhaps you smoke too much or something, it can help restore the lungs, right? So what you're gonna want to do is just boil some cloves, right? Doesn't need to be like a big pot or anything. Just boil them and then drink the water, right? You'll see even after that, just by boiling the cloves, the house will be smelling lovely because the cloves have that essence, right? Okay. You can also just chew on a few cloves a day. Even that itself will do major wonders even to your skin. Okay, see how clear my skin is? Cloves do the magic. Alright, so that is all. I promise I'll have more information on the next episode. Yeah.
Okay, people, see you on the next episode.